Welcome, everyone. My name is Matthew Brownstein. I'm the founder and lead instructor at the Institute of Interpersonal Hypnotherapy. And for years, I went around the country doing my successful graduate road tour. Now that we're doing that on Zoom, it's not a road tour, yet I'm here with a very successful graduate, Justin Shivers. Did I say that correctly?
Shivers.
Shivers. Well, we'll keep moving along despite the first mistake. Justin graduated. He'll tell us about when he graduated, but I brought him in, or our team brought him in, because he's in full-time practice with a waiting list. And we thought it'd be really inspirational for you to talk about your experience with the Institute, what it's like to be in full-time practice, how it fulfills you, helping others. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and perhaps what got you into all this?
Sure. I actually, let's see a little bit about myself. So I am a fifth generation Floridian. I was born and raised in West Palm Beach, Florida. That's where my practice is. I actually have a background. I was a produce broker before I started doing this. And a little bit about how I got into this was I minored in biology in college. So I have a little bit of a kind of a want to see how things work. And that's a little bit of a preface. So in 2014, my dad developed acute myeloid leukemia. And he had about a 2% chance of surviving. So one of my good friends is a chiropractor, and I was there just kind of racking his brain, seeing if there was anything, you know, kind of off the beaten path that we could try just to ease him through his process. And he was like, what about hypnosis? I'm like, hypnosis? The guys with the pocket watches and all, you know, I had no idea. And he was like, yeah, you know, there's all these clinical and therapeutic, you know, purposes for hypnosis. You should really check it out. And something about it just kind of set in my mind. And so I started looking online, and I actually stumbled upon the school, and I was like, well, let me call them and see if they know somebody that can help me. And funnily enough, Monica was the first person I talked to. And she just, there's something, I mean, you know, there's something about her. It was a time in my life where I really needed some sunshine, and she just is. And it wasn't just our conversation, but the way that it was presented. I'm like, wait, you know, and she was like, why don't you, you know, look at, we're a school and everything. So I just started looking at it. And, you know, funnily enough, I looked at how much it cost, and I had the exact amount in my savings account to the penny with, you know, paying in full, the whole thing. And I was like, ooh, I guess this is a sign. And so I said, you know what, I'm just in. And I remember telling Monica, I'm like, I'm just going to pay for it now before I change my mind. And so we did the thing. She sent it over, and we did it. And I hit the ground running. And I actually was able to process my dad's grief and loss while in school, you know, sitting in the chair and going through it. So it became more of a personal experience than just a career shift. You know, it really did allow me to see just how much you can really heal with hypnotherapy and all the other related modalities. So that's a little about me.
Yeah, no, it's great. Thank you for sharing that. And it's beautiful to hear about your process with your father and learning about hypnosis. You talked to Monica, our admissions director. She's been with us for about 8 years now. And yeah, people obviously see there's something really special about her. And I love that she represents the school when you first call. So then you graduated, and what happened then? Did you go into private practice right away, or did it take some time to transition?
So here's how it happened. So I graduated in October of 2016. And then on November 1st, I moved in. I was sharing an office with another graduate at that time. And we worked together for a year, and I was able to find my own place. And then I moved over there. And once I had my own place, and I really kind of was able to put my personal touch on everything and move all my junk in, and it really did make a huge difference. And I hit the ground running. I mean, I developed a following almost, I wouldn't say instantly, because the first year was kind of rough. But after that, I mean, once you heal a couple people in a big way, I mean, it's just the ripple effect. And you know, people are looking for this. They're looking for an alternative way to heal and to not have to do all the bad side effects, and to really have a complete transitional healing rather than just a temporary Band-Aid.
Definitely. I hear that you got into it for the healing side of it for yourself. And then you realized for others, once you saw it in others, that got excited. And last I heard, you had a waiting list. About how many clients a week do you see? How big is the waiting list?
Oh,
and
man.
What do you do? What do you do to get those clients?
So I was just looking this morning. So right now I'm booked, I would say, for the purpose of the recording, it's 6 to 8 weeks now. Just depending. It got even busier. And it's, you know, I see probably 3, 6, 9, 12, maybe 14 or 15 clients a week. I do 2-hour sessions. So there's a little bit of a buffer between sessions. Sometimes they run over, but that's usually about it. And it's been nonstop. I mean, you know, I try to fit in as many people as I can. Sometimes when I do, because I work with kids and teenagers as well, their sessions tend to be an hour. So if I have more of them, I can squeeze them into a day. It just depends.
Nice. Do you specialize in anything, or is it more general?
I say that I specialize in anxiety related issues because I had it really bad. And so I kind of know how it feels to process that. But really, I specialize in the people that I like to call them what somebody told me they were once. They said that they were a throwaway. And it kind of broke my heart. And I know you know exactly what I mean by that. They're just like, I'm a throwaway. I'm good for nothing. And I'm like, that's exactly my specialty, because it's such a blocking feeling. It's such a belief that just stops you in your tracks and doesn't let you move forward. And, you know, teaching people to find themselves again, to search through all the crap and find themselves buried underneath all that and reconnect. That's what I specialize in, you know, teaching them that they're not what they have been labeled by themselves or whoever else.
It's beautiful. I noticed that, and I've been in the field now for 25 something years, and it's so easy for me to list of beliefs that people hold, because you just hear it as a hypnotherapist all the time. I'm not good enough. I'm nothing. I'm worthless. I'm useless. I'll never amount to anything. I'm bad. I'm stupid. I'm unlovable. And once you're in the work, you realize no matter what the symptom is, no matter what their complaint is, no matter what emotions, anxiety, whatever, they're dealing with that list of beliefs underneath. So I'm curious, because then we would call those basically false beliefs, right? You're stupid. No, you're not. You're ugly. No, you're not. Like, stop saying that about yourself.
Right.
Therefore, I've been really interested in what is the truth of people. I wonder how that relates to perhaps your spiritual background, your own personal beliefs, how this training or this profession kind of sinks in with deeper truths that you might live by.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny too. And for people that haven't gone through the training, you know, I had a complete spiritual transformation through training. And I wasn't a real spiritual person before that. It just came out of me. And it wasn't something I was even searching, but it was a missing pillar, I like to call it. You know, the house wasn't balanced and I was tilting. And when you get that extra pillar in there, everything is, it's like, okay, I get to see things from a new perspective. And I think a lot of people are missing that too, or they've been misguided in that spiritual realm. And they think that it's just this one template. And if you're not this, then you're this. And that's another label, you know?
Right. Yes, certainly. To have a direct experience. That's usually what happens when people go through our school, right? They experience there's more to who I am than just my conscious mind, right? I have a subconscious mind, and then we have the model of a superconscious mind. Exactly. So what does that mean to you then when you talk about spirituality? What has been your experience? Like, is that clear for that question? Like, what's your experience with spirituality? Yeah. You
know, for me, I kind of have my own little belief system. There we go with beliefs, right? But what I've noticed is that, you know, for me and spirituality, it's an individual experience. You know, I can take the word God and I could give you 50 euphemisms for it. And it's all the same thing. You know, it's all, we're made up of energy, and there's a greater energy, and we're a part of it, and it's a part of us. And, you know, you can believe that or you cannot believe that. But if you choose to believe it, then we can take that belief and we can take the energy that's involved in that belief and we can manipulate it one way or another, just like you've been doing already, you know? And you can apply any spiritual template to that, you know, take energy, take God, take spirit, take you know, everything that we know and everything that we don't know. And then you balance it, you know, the yin and the yang, it's all the same thing. So what I found is, for me, spiritualism is just, you know, realizing who you are underneath all those layers. You know, who are you? Like you were saying, the I am, you know, who's there, who's looking, who's having the thoughts, who's the thought having the thought, who's there behind the there, behind the there. And that to me, you know, the silence underneath all of it, where it's just you and that's it. And that's spirituality to me. I don't know if I went off on a tangent. But.
No, that's great. Thank you. We were talking before we started the interview about just deep spirituality, and really it all leads to peace. It all leads to tranquility, no matter what path you're on. Every client who comes in, essentially there's not at peace, right? Something is bothering them. So I'd love to hear just a little bit more about how hypnotherapy itself, like the training or the profession, speaks to what it's like to sit in front of another person, another I am, right? There's a consciousness there, and knowing that you're bringing them through this level of pain or challenge, into the beauty and the truth of who they really are. I'd love to hear more about your personal experience, like sitting in there, you're in your office, I see your diplomas on the wall.
Yes.
What is it like to just be with someone, move them through that pain, and then to experience that they're truly transformed?
What is it like? Oh man, what's it like to breathe out hate and breathe in love? It's like every time you help someone through that, you're helping yourself. It's like I don't know. It's oneness to me. Here, let me explain this. Having a belief system where you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that, you're not this, and knowing it, because we all have it. We all have it in one way or another. And then being with somebody else that has a belief system, and then knowing that you can pull them through because you've been pulled through, and knowing that no matter what they say to you, no matter how much they don't believe it, no matter how much they don't believe themselves, no matter how much they don't even believe in hypnosis, or they don't believe in you, that you have the key to unlock their door. All they have to do is just follow directions to an extent. And then to have them come out on the other side. I mean, to hear, and I save them all, every text, every letter, every email that someone say, you saved my life, or you saved my kid's life, or you saved my mom's life. It's like, me? But then after a while, you start to believe, me? Like, of course I did that. And you can do that too. You can tell these people, they can save someone else's life. And the cycle continues. And it's like, you're part of the solution, guys. You're no longer part of the problem. You aren't the problem. And we're already the solution. We just don't believe it yet. And that's really what it's like to me.
That's beautiful. It seems like humility to say, well, really, me? Yeah. In A Course in Miracles, it actually says it's actually very arrogant to say that you're not capable of that. Or like, it doesn't, if you don't honor your greatness, it's actually arrogance, not humility. Humility is to realize, oh, I'm so much greater than I thought I was. Let me humbly accept that. So for those who might be listening to the interview who are wondering about, can I do this? Is this the right path for me? Somebody who's like kind of sitting on the fence, what might you say to them when it comes to this deeper calling and drive to why we do the work?
It's, you wouldn't be watching this, you wouldn't be hearing this if it wasn't your time, if you weren't being called. It's, every pain is a red flag for something else. Every time we're hurting, it's because something else is actually happening. It's cause and effect. And when you have an opportunity like this, when you just take for what I went to, I'm watching my dad die of cancer, right? And I could have just marinated in it, and I did for a little bit, but then said, you know what, there's got to be another way, and there is. And it's such a transformation. It's not just, you're not just doing these techniques, and you're not, so all these hours of lectures and all these, let's make it relevant, right? All these practicals and all these things, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to rearrange your life. You're doing it for a reason. You're setting up for the next chapter, and the next chapter it's worth everything. It's literally worth everything. You break down everything that you thought so that you can build up everything that actually is. And that, you can't put a price on that. You can't put I'm struggling with words because there's no words. How do you put words to what happens,
Yeah, well, that reminds me of Speechless at the end of when I was in full-time practice. I would see more than you, actually. I was doing like 25 clients a week, and it was exhausting, sometimes even up to 30. Most of our successful graduates do 15, but I was like, nope, this is my life. And when I would finish a day with about 5 clients, and sometimes I would literally just be on my knees in tears with gratitude for, I can't believe I do this work. I can't believe this is my profession. So we always encourage students to get private sessions, or somebody might be watching this who's feeling like, well, Justin's really someone who could help me. How do we find out about you? Phone number, website? How do people contact you?
Yeah, so my phone number is 561-346-6329. That's a direct number. You can call, you can text. My email is justin@justinshiverhypnotherapy.com. My website is justinshiverhypnotherapy.com. They make it very easy. If you know my name, you know how to get a hold of me. I always either answer, or I'll answer a text. If I don't answer, it's because I'm in session or I'm asleep. But other than that, I make it really easy. If you're ready to change, I'm ready to help. That's literally how it is.
Beautiful. And I love, we're talking about how you've been networking, getting out there, and people are drawn to you. We always encourage, I definitely encourage in our advertising marketing training in the school, to market yourself, to brand yourself, right? To use your name hypnotherapy.com instead of just some very generic name, because people want to work with you when they get to know you. Do you do sessions now in your office, online, both? What's it been like since COVID hit?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, and
yeah, back in the day, right? So
yeah.
I do online sessions, I do in-person sessions. Pretty much I will adhere to whatever makes you comfortable. This is your session, you're paying for it. So if you want me to stand on my head, I'll do my best to do that. As long as we're in, we reach a happy medium, where I'm not uncomfortable, and I usually am not uncomfortable. It's whatever you want. I see people all over the world via Zoom. I mean, I've had people in all countries. You don't even have to be very good at English, because I'm not the best English speaker myself. So as long as you're present, I'll work with you. I mean, we have a lot of people in West Palm Beach that English is their second or even third language. So don't feel like any of that stuff is going to hold you back from healing.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, I appreciate your time. It's wonderful to talk with a successful graduate. It's always such a pleasure to get to know you a bit better. I know you just went through NLP training with me. You're going to be in a future class with me. So yeah, I look forward to more interactions. And I sincerely appreciate your time, so people can get to know about you, our school, and the amazing path of hypnotherapy. So thank you so much.
Thank you.